You know, I think most of us that know anything about guns or own guns have heard the left go on and on about these big, scary, evil ghost guns. You know, these guns that are undetectable, that bad guys can get them and they can go anywhere they want with a gun because you can't detect them with metal detectors or scanners. Screeners can't detect them. You know, there's just nothing they can do. They can't protect you from these people with ghost guns. Well, I think most of us that know anything about guns know that ghost guns are a fantasy. They do not really exist. They only exist as wet dreams in the minds of people like Bloomberg, who would love nothing better than to take the guns away from everyone because, you know, he lives in his ivory tower. He's one of the elite. He doesn't want regular people having guns. So he makes up things like ghost guns to scare people. Or at least that's what I thought until today. This is going to be one of the few videos where I have to admit I'm wrong. Apparently there actually is a ghost gun. And more than that, I actually have one. Now you might be asking, where did I find a ghost gun? Surely you have to get that in some sort of, you know, black internet or whatever they call it, internet dark or whatever, dark with almonds, I don't know what they call it. But no, I actually just walked into a gun shop and bought it. So you might be asking, what gun is it I have that is a ghost gun? Well, it's my 586 Plus LComp Performance Center. My big steel 357 Magnum revolver. That's my ghost gun. Now I know you're saying to yourself, how could that possibly be a ghost gun? Well, it is, because today I was at Comic-Con with my son. You can see him here looking really excited to wait in line to get our tickets. Oh, and by the way, don't buy your tickets online for these things. On the website it says, save time in line, buy your tickets now. And you do that, and then you get there, and the will call line was a 25-minute wait. Whereas if I just wanted to walk up and buy a ticket and go in, there was no wait whatsoever. So that was a scam, so I wasn't too thrilled about that. But, you know, it's Comic-Con, so I'm happy. I'm happy to even wait 25 minutes and get in. Well, we wait our 25 minutes, we get our little wristbands here to say we can go in the Coliseum where they're having Comic-Con. Well, as I'm walking up to the Comic-Con Coliseum entrance, where they actually have a big line of people waiting to get in, well, I notice there's a security screening point. They're wanding people down, they're patting people down, and I'm like, crap, I'm going to have to go back to my car, put my gun in my safe, and then come back in and go through the line again. This is going to be a pain in the butt. But, you know, I get up there and I put my arms out and I'm like, be gentle, and he wands me down, he pats me down, he's like, okay, go on. And I'm like, hey, you sure there's batteries in that wand? And he's like, yup. And I say, okie dokie, and I go on in. So obviously, it's a ghost gun. It wasn't detected by the metal detector or the screener patting me down. So it is obviously a ghost gun. Oh, and before some self-righteous know-it-all out there goes, you snuck a gun in illegally somewhere you weren't supposed to. You're a bad example of a gun owner. Nope, that's not true. I can carry a gun in my state anywhere I want to as long as it's not prohibited by federal law. I'm a licensed carrier in my state and I can carry. Now a private venue can ask that I not carry. They can even have security to try to prevent me. But if I go through their security and they don't catch me, there's nothing illegal about me having that gun there. And if they do catch me, either at security or afterwards, all they can do is politely ask me to leave. That's all they're allowed to do by law. And if they ask me to leave, I would have left. Believe me, my gun was definitely not the worst thing in there. So it isn't illegal. I'm not concerned about it. So just shut up before you make a fool of yourself. Now, what I am really concerned about is that apparently my Smith & Wesson 586 LComp is a real, honest-to-goodness ghost gun. The left was right. Because that's really the only conclusion we can come to, right? It couldn't be that, you know, these things like these TSA-style security screening points, that they don't do anything. Because why would people put them in place if they didn't do anything? That'd be like saying people do things just to make themselves feel better, even if it really doesn't accomplish anything. And that doesn't make sense, does it? I mean, that's stupid. That would have to mean most people out there are like idiots or something. I mean, we have to accept that there are ghost guns, obviously, or why would politicians be up there saying things like that? Because if it wasn't true, that would have to mean that they were duplicitous jerks who lie to everyone to serve their own interests instead of serving the interests of the people. And we know that couldn't possibly be true. Who would vote for someone like that? So when we're left to decide for ourselves what's more likely, we either got to say, well, either people are such idiots and sheep that they will pass ridiculous laws that do no good whatsoever, and all they do is actually harm other people and infringe on the constitutional rights of other people while actually making no one any safer. We have to accept that people are big enough idiots to do that, and we have to accept that politicians are duplicitous, lying assholes. We either have to accept those two things, or we have to believe that a Smith & Wesson big steel 357 Magnum revolver is a ghost gun. So I guess we'd have to assume this is actually a ghost gun. Because if we had to believe the prior two things to be true instead of the latter, well, that would be pretty sad, wouldn't it?